What's going on, guys? It's your boy Man Jones here, back from the Big Fan, back here with another video. And this time we'll be doing our Week 12 predictions. Week 11s were already wrapped up, and now we're into Week 12. Last week I went 11-4, which I did pretty good, and my overall record is 162, which I pretty much have 100 wins so far for me, which that's great. And we got the Broncos, Chargers, Dolphins, and Commanders on a bye week. So we're going to get things started here. So before I get to the video, don't forget to put a thumbs up, type the video, subscribe to my channel more option, and comment down your opinion below to see who you think will win Week 12. So basically, I chose the Texans to win 24-20, and all of a sudden they won 23-19. So let's get started with the rest of the games. We got the New York Jets against the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens is favored by at least by 2 touchdowns, at least by 13.5. While the Jets, which that's a big number though. So yeah. So as you know, we heard the news that the Jets did bench Justin Fields for Tyrod Taylor. Yeah. So basically, I got the Ravens to win this game, but I don't know about the covering part because we already know the Ravens, they have a few players on the injury report that could not be playing. Roquan Smith, he did not participate in practice. I gotta go look at the injury report because I gotta pay attention to that. So we already know they ruled out Bateman, which that's not huge. Roquan Smith and Kyle Hamilton was on the injury report, and now they're heard news saying they're officially off the injury report, and now they're fully healthy, so they should be good to go. So at least their defense is now healthy. At least they're starting to get a little bit healthier. And Lamar, he was on the injury report, but all of a sudden they got him off, and now he's fully ready to go. So basically, I got the Ravens winning, and I got the Ravens covering that big spread. The Ravens are just a more complete team, and they have more to play for because they're trying to make the playoffs. And, the Ravens, the Jets, they don't have a vertical passing game. I feel like the Ravens corners should be able to match up well with that. And I think their pass rush is not overwhelming. I think they can get after the quarterback. I feel like they'll do a good job stopping the Jets' run game. The Jets can run the ball good, but they just can't throw it. And the Ravens offense, they should be able to overpower them as well. Zay Flowers, DeAndre Hopkins, and Mark Andrews will totally be a problem without Sauce. So, yeah. So, basically, the Ravens, they should easily win this game, and they should easily cover. They'll probably win by, 2 touchdowns or more. I solely see them win at least by 3 or 4 touchdowns. I could see it. Yeah. So, basically, I got the Ravens both ways. I got the Ravens to win and to cover. Next game, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers against Chicago Bears. The Bears are 2.5-point favorites against the Steelers. Now, this game right here can totally go either way because now we just heard the news that Aaron Rodgers is questionable to play because we already know he has a small fracture on his hand. So, on his wrist or something. So, yeah, whatever you call it. So, yeah. So, as you look at the Bears, you look at the Steelers. These are 2 of my least favorite teams ever. The Bears, they're 7-3, looking like frauds, and the Steelers are 6-4, looking more like frauds. When the Steelers usually play against any good team, they'll just lose. And then when you look at the Bears, when they play against good teams, they'll win. Some teams they'll lose. But here's the thing. The Bears really have no defense, and it just got a quarterback who can't hit a water if he fell out of a boat. So, we already know that Christmas is coming, and we know that if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play, it's probably going to be Mason Rudolph. If you know, it's going to be Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So, if Aaron Rodgers plays, I'll take the Steelers because we already know he owns the Bears. He said it himself. He owns the Bears. And he likes playing for them. He likes playing against them. But if he does not play, I I will take the Bears to win because I like how the way they're finding ways how to finish games. Um, the defense of the Bears is playing a lot better, and the offense is starting to click. They're playing really better, starting to hum. Um, I think Ben Johnson will find ways to at least like scheme up and open up some quick throws and some quick passes against the Steeler defense is not great, but they do have a great pass rush. But the question is, can they find a way to get after Caleb? We don't know. But at the same time, their defense, like their corner position is really good. I mean, they should be able to get Slay back after missing a game. I mean, Highsmith is questionable with the injury. So the Steelers pass rush, it could totally be a problem for the Bears offensive line. But the Bears don't have a great pass rush. Maybe it can open up the Steelers to run the ball, which we know the Steelers don't run the ball really well. But DK could be a problem for the Bears. Who knows? But at the same time, I think the Steelers defense can totally win them this game. I mean, if long as their defense can find a way to at least handle against the Bears offense, they should find a way to win this game. But now I just heard news pop up that Cam Hayward and Darius Slay are going to play, but Aaron Rodgers is still questionable to play. So maybe they are going to call it a game time decision. So I highly doubt he does play. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I did hear on news that the Bears that Alex Highsmith is out for this game. And then I also heard news that the Bears are going to be missing two of their best linebackers, which is in TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds. And Jalen Johnson's still on IR. Brisker's questionable. So, and Kyler Gordon is too. So the Bears, they're missing. I mean, having their starting lineup on defense is probably out. So yeah. You could probably argue saying the Bears are still healthy, but you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and just say the Steelers are going to win this game because I think the Steelers are a bit more healthier than the Bears because the Bears are dealing with so many injuries on defense. And I just don't really think it's going to be enough to at least like get some stops. Like, because their backups are probably going to be a terrible matchup for the Steelers offense. I think DK can have a game. I think Pat Freiermuth and Jonnu Smith can have a game. And I think Warren can have success. But, I mean, the Steelers, they have to run the football if they really want to win this game. But if they can't run the football, then they probably won't. So I'm going to go ahead and just say it's going to be a closer game, maybe like a 24-23 or like a 23-17, something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Steelers to win straight up. Because I'm just going to assume that Aaron Rodgers does play for now. I'm going to say he does. But if he does not, I might have to change my pick. So I got the Steelers winning for now. All right, next game. We have the New England Patriots against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Patriots are 7.5-point favorites against the Bengals. Obviously, as you all did hear the news that I heard that Joe Burrow is getting closer to getting back to playing on the field. Which that's good news. They did open his practice window up last week, but he did not play last Sunday. But now they're saying that he's still going to remain on IR. And now they're saying he could return for Thanksgiving, thinking that he's probably gonna beat the Ravens, which I don't really know if that's going to happen because which I don't know, which that'll be exciting. If Joe Burrow did play, it's interesting. But at the same time, I don't care if he plays or not. The Bengals have no defense, especially without Trey Henderson and Shamar Stewart. I mean, the best pass rushing duo are absolutely ruled out once again. The Bengals, I don't think their defense is going to get a single stop. Because look, they cannot stop the run. They cannot stop the pass. Their offense, they can throw the football and they can run the football, but it's just that their defense is just bad. Like, it's the worst defense in the unit. And I think, and they're playing against a quarterback who's playing like an MVP right now, like in Drake May. I feel like the Patriots are probably going to score like 30 plus in this game, maybe 40. Who knows? Because the Patriots offense is darn good, and Drake May is darn good. He's gonna toss some he's gonna toss some touchdowns, and he's gonna like test these corners on the outside. Like the Bengals defense needs a real test here. I mean, I would not be shocked if the Bengals did win this game. But can the Bengals win this game? Sure, but what I'm seeing, their defense is not really good. So yeah, so basically I think but I could really see the Bengals, like, can the Bengals win? Their offense can dominate, sure. Because because I just really think that the Bengals, I feel like the game could be a lot closer, but at the same time, the Patriots do have a really good offense that can really rip up any defense like the Bengals. They got some weapons like Bot, like Stephon Diggs, Hunter Henry, Demario Douglas, like, yeah, and they can run the football a little bit. Their O line's good. Um, they're deep. I mean, especially I feel like with Trey Henderson out, I feel like it helped their O line, and I think their defense could be the challenge here, which I think is a lot better than the Bengals. But I think they'll get more stops because they can stop the run and they can stop the pass a little bit, but they really can't though. But I think it could be a higher scoring game, but I'm gonna take the Patriots to win. But I think they're gonna win by one score, so maybe like a 34-27 or like 41-34, something like that. So yeah, so I'm gonna take the Patriots to win because they're the more complete team. They have more to play for, and all that, and they got better coaching as well. So I got the Patriots both ways. I got the Patriots to win and the Patriots to cover. Next game, we have the Detroit Lions the New York Giants against Detroit Lions. The Lions are 13.5 point favorites against the Giants. So obviously, I got Detroit winning, and I got them covering that big spread. And the reason for it is that the Lions, they're the more complete team. They have the better quarterback, better coaching staff. They're at home, and it's a bounce back spot for them after losing to the Eagles, which their offense totally got shut down. Which the Lions really couldn't run the ball. Like, it was a disaster, and I think, and especially they're playing against a Giants defense that's totally not as good, which is completely bad. Like, the Giants really got the worst defense in football, especially against the run and the pass. Like, they're gonna play a lot of man coverage. We know sometimes they might play a lot of zone, but I just really think that Amon-Ra and Jameson Williams is just gonna be too much for the Giants secondary to handle. And even without Sam Laporta, I feel like the Lions offense can overpower them, especially Jahmyr Gibbs and Dave Montgomery is gonna have a day. Like, I feel like they're gonna run all over them. And I feel like Dan Campbell will take his foot off the gas, and he's gonna knowing that he's calling plays, that he's gonna find a way to at least out coach the Giants. And the Lions pretty much have the defense. Like, the Lions do blow bad teams out. Like, they blew out the Commanders, they blew out the Bears, who suck. They blew out the Browns. Like, they usually blow teams out. But I think the Lions defense can dominate in this game, which I think they even though they're dealing with some injuries on defense, I feel like and I feel like their defense does play really good. Like, they can stop the run really well. They can stop the pass. Like, their defense is like literally the best unit in football right now. And I don't think the Giants are gonna keep up. I mean, yeah, they got Jameis Winston, but at the same time, he's really not great and all that. And they don't got Jackson Dart. They don't got Scatterboo. Like, the Giants aren't going to be able to do much on offense to keep up. So I don't think the Giants are going to keep up. I think the Lions should easily win this game. They should easily cover. Like, I think the Lions win. Like, I think it's going to be like a 3 or 4 score game. The Lions probably might put up 40 points. Who knows? Like, they might put up 40 plus. Like, I'm just saying. They could. They're probably going to put a 40 burger on them. So, especially they don't have Malik Neighbors. Like, the Giants don't have another wide receiver that can separate. I mean, the Lions defense should look fine. Now, they could have at least beaten the Eagles if their offense would have at least, if they would have got their offense going in there and all that. But I feel like their offense will produce in that game. So, as you all know, I got the Lions winning. I got the Lions covering. Next game, we have the Minnesota Vikings against the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are 6.5 point favorites against the Vikings. As you all know, I got the Packers winning this game, but I will not take them to cover. I got the Vikings covering, and here's why. Now, the Vikings, like the Vikings stink. Like, JJ McCarthy, he stinks. He can't read a defense, especially a zone defense. He holds on to the ball for so long and all that. Like, he's bad. And all of a sudden, the Vikings, their offensive line is good, but it's not playing the same. But their defense is pretty good. I mean, Flores, he's going to do his thing. What he likes to do is blitz. Like, he could, but we know he has had really good success, finding ways to shut down LaFleur's offense. But at the same time, I think LaFleur is going to cook some things up offensively. I know the Packers offense looked pretty good against the Giants. Like, it pretty much did. I mean, their defense is just not playing as good. Like, they almost lost to the Giants. Like for real, like, they almost lost to the Giants. But the Packers offense did play a lot better against the Giants, which that's good. But at the same time, what I'm seeing from Minnesota, they're not a good team because, they lost their last 2 games back to back. And we know they should have beaten the Bears, though. If their defense would have never blew that game, the Bears would never kick the field goal, which they could have, though. But the Vikings, I feel like their defense can totally hang around this game. I feel like the offense could play a little bit better. Now, the Packers are dealing with some injuries, though, and the Vikings are too. But I feel like without it. Now, as I look at the injury report, let's look. Let's look at the injury report. Jonathan Kennard is questionable to play, so he could play. So he was limited. Half their offensive line is out. The Packers are doing a lot of injuries on defense. So Golden is questionable to play due to a shoulder injury. Jacobs is questionable due to a knee injury. Lucas Van Ness is questionable due to a foot injury. Quay Walker's doubtful with the neck, so he might not play. Nate Hobbs is questionable. He's already ruled out. So the Packers, and we already know that one player in our offensive line is out. So I think the Packers will need to produce here offensively. And the Vikings do got a great tackle duo. So I feel like as long as the Packers pass rush doesn't get dominated, I feel like the Packers will find a way to get pressure and blitz more. So as you all know, that the game will be a lot closer, but I'm going to take the Packers because they're the more complete team and they have the better quarterback and coaching and they're at home and they have more to play for because they have a chance to make the playoffs and the Vikings don't. So, yeah, so fortunately, like, I got to take the Packers to win, but I don't really see it being a blowout, though. Like, can they blow them out? Well, sure, but if the Packers get them early, they might blow them out. But I just don't see it. Like, the Packers tonight, they can't blow anybody out. Like, they couldn't blow out the Giants, and Cam Scatterboo was at the Monday Night Raw, and they still couldn't blow them out. And they still couldn't blow them out. So, basically it will be close. I feel like it could be a one-score game. So maybe like a 23-17 or maybe like a 17-16, something like that. More like a lower scoring game. But I'm going to take the Vikings to cover, but I'll take the Packers to win the game. Next game, we have the Indianapolis Colts against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites against the Colts. You already know the Colts are coming off their bye, and they should have a week to prepare. And the Chiefs are coming off another disappointing loss against the Broncos. We already know they're frauds right now after losing 2 straight back-to-back, which that's crazy. Now this game can totally go either way. Now we already know that most people could be picking the Colts to win because the Colts are a legitimate threat. But at the same time, the Chiefs so far are looking to bounce back, after losing 2 straight games. Now I kind of really know that, the Colts, they pretty much have a week to prepare. And Big Lou, has a week to prepare because he does a really good job preparing for Patrick Mahomes. Like, I feel like, the Colts don't have a really good pass rush, but they have a great secondary. And I feel like Big Lou, he might do a good job, defending Mahomes and keep him guessing, keep him in the pocket and all that. But I think Andy Reid, he's found a way to attack Big Lou's defense, especially when he was in Cincinnati. I think Andy Reid can totally scheme things up offensively to get some guys wide open. Like Rashee Rice, I feel like the Colts cornerback group can do a good job against Rashee Rice. And I think, and maybe Worthy, and maybe against Kelsey. We'll see, but they don't have Isaiah Pacheco, so the Chiefs are not going to be able to run the ball in this game. But the only way the Chiefs are going to win this game, they're going to have to limit Jonathan Taylor, because if they can contain Jonathan Taylor and slow him down, I feel like they have a chance to at least pull off a win here. I feel like, the Chiefs defense is the best unit because they can stop the run, they can stop the pass, and do like that. But anyways, though, I feel like this game will be fun to watch. I think it will be close, but this is like a field goal game. But we already know that Mahomes, he strikes the ball for 2 yards, and he just can't hit a deep ball, which he's not good at that. So, yeah, but I think the game will be close. It will be competitive, though. I could see it being a higher scoring game. But I am going to go with the Chiefs to win this game. They're at home. They need to win this game more than the Colts so they can keep their playoffs alive. And I just think the Chiefs, they pretty much have, the better defense in this game. And I really think that the Chiefs offensively can find a way to move the ball against this Colts defense. Because we know the Colts defense is kind of average and is not as good as the Chiefs. They're not good against the pass, but they are good against the run. And the Chiefs have no running game. And I think the Chiefs need to win this game more if they want to, keep their season alive. And, yeah, but I just really think that, the Chiefs, can find a ways on defense. I feel like they're going to do what the Steelers did, put pressure on Daniel Jones, force him into mistakes, force them to throw the ball and force him to beat you even though he's not going to do it. But, yeah, give me the Chiefs to win, but give me the Colts to cover 3.5 because, I feel like the Colts are going to try to hang around this game to keep it competitive and close. So maybe it could be like a 26-23 or maybe like a 27-24, something like that, or like a 30-27, something like that. So yeah, so I'm gonna take the Colts to cover, but I'll take the Chiefs to win the game. To at least get back on track after losing 2 straight. Next game, we have the Seattle Seahawks against the Tennessee Titans. The Seahawks are 13.5-point favorites against the Titans. Seattle, I gotta take Seattle to win this game. They're easily gonna win this game, and they're easily gonna cover this game. And the reason for that is that, the Seahawks are the more complete team, have the better quarterback and coaching staff. And the Titans, like I said, they stink. They can't cover anything. Their offense is atrocious, and their defense it's a little bit atrocious. But you could say it's bad, but it's below average. And the Seahawks do got some weapons on offense that can really rip them apart, like Jackson Smith and Jigba, Cooper Kupp, and Rashid Shaheed. Like, the Titans are not going to be able to cover Jackson Smith and Jigba. I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigba has been a monster lately. He's been a dog. Like, no one's going to cover him. And Seattle has one of the best defense in football, which I don't think Tennessee's going to be able to score a point. They may not even score a touchdown. They might put up 0. And Seattle's probably going to win by multiple touchdowns. So, yeah, so basically, the Seahawks, they should easily win this game because they pretty much have the better offense and they pretty much have the better defense as well. And they'll limit the turnovers for sure because I just couldn't believe Seattle lost to the Rams in that game where that game by which I thought a game where they should have beaten the Rams though, if Sam Darnold did not poop himself in that game throwing 4 picks and then all of a sudden with them missing a 55 to 60-yard field goal, which they could have won that game. But anyways though, Seattle, they'll get right this time, and I think they should easily win this game. And they should easily cover that big number as well. Even though I know 13.5 is big, they should easily win. They should easily cover. So yeah, I got the Seahawks both ways. Next game, we have the Cleveland Browns against the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are 4-point favorites against the Browns. This game right here can totally go either way. But, at the same time, is both of the worst teams in football playing against each other. They both 2-8, and they're looking to get a top pick in the draft. Now, Shedeur is starting, which I did hear news about that. Now Shedeur Sanders, we know he's not really good, and he always holds on to the ball for so long. He's missing passes. We saw him last week do that, and he couldn't do enough to win the game against the Ravens. But now, here's the thing. I think this game right here is probably going to be a defensive game because both of their defenses are not that good. Both their offenses are not that good. The Raiders and Browns, both their offenses are not as good, but their defenses are very good. Browns got the number 1 defense in football, and the Raiders got the number 13 defense in football. They got a top 15 defense. So their defenses are very good, but their offenses are not good. But the thing I want to say about the Browns is that the Browns defense is not as good on the road as it is at home. So I think, that the Browns, they do have the pass rush to get after Myles Garrett. They have the secondary guys, like the DBs and the safeties that can really man up against Brock Bowers and Raiders receiving core, because the Raiders do have a underwhelming receiving core. Their receiving core is not as good, and the Browns receiving core is not as good either. So yeah, so it's kind of hard to choose because both these two teams are garbage. Both these two teams they're absolute they're atrocious. They stink. So in my opinion, I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. I think it's going to be some garbage score, probably 17-10, 10-9, 9-6, something like that. It's probably going to be some garbage score. But I will take the 4 points with the Browns, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Raiders to win because the Raiders do have the more experienced quarterback in this game. And I think they pretty much do have the pass rush to at least dominate against this Browns offensive line that's totally not as good. Because we know they can stop the run better, they just can't stop the pass. So we know the Raiders defense was not great last week. I think their defense plays better in this game. So yeah, I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. So giving the Browns the cover, but giving the Raiders to win the game. All right, next game, we have the Jacksonville Jags against the Arizona Cardinals. The Jags are 3-point favorites against the Cardinals. Um, this game right here can go either way. Now, I know a few people could be picking the Cardinals to win because the Cardinals, you know, Jacoby Brissett had a really good game. He completed like almost 50 of his passes. He was the first quarterback to ever do that, though, but they still didn't do enough to win because the Cardinals couldn't do much offensively and defensively, though. But at the end of the day, Jacksonville so much, they coming off a really big win against the Chargers, which I thought their defense did a really good job dominating that game, and I thought their offense really got it going in this game. I think they can do that again against a Cardinals team that totally got crushed by the Niners last week. I think the Jags, pretty much can do the same thing like they did last week. Just force Jacoby Brissett off his first read, stop the run, don't give any big plays. But I think the Jags, their pass defense is not great, but it did look good against the Chargers. I think they can against the Cardinals, especially the Cardinals, don't have a lot of good weapons on offense. I mean, half their offense is ruled out, and they may not have a run game to depend on, and they don't have a lot of weapons on offense that can really scare you other than Trey McBride. And they don't have Marvin Harrison Jr. in this game, so I think this game right here should be close. But I'm going to go with the Jaguars to win, but I'll take them to cover as well. They're the more complete team and have the better quarterback. And I just really think that, without the weapons, without Marvin Harrison Jr. and with no run game to depend on for Arizona, I don't think they're going to be able to do much offensively like they did last week. So I can totally see a semi-blowout, though. I don't think Arizona's going to keep up. I think Jacksonville's probably going to score in the 30s, maybe the 40s, like last week. So, yeah. So, I got Jacksonville to win. I got Jacksonville to cover. It'll probably be like a 30-27, something like that, or maybe like a 34-23, something like that. So, I'll take the Jags to win. I'll take the Jags to cover since they have more to play for it. Especially they're trying to at least approach a playoff spot as well. So, yeah. All right, the next game, we have the Philadelphia Eagles against the Dallas Cowboys. The Eagles are 3-point favorites against the Cowboys. Obviously, in Jerry world, so yeah. So, obviously, this game right here can go either way. Now, most people are probably going to take the Eagles to beat the Cowboys again because the Eagles are the better team and, and all that. But, yeah, but at the same time, it's a divisional game and all that. But I think this game will be close, but I want to talk about the positives and all that. So I like how the way Dallas did against the Raiders. I thought their defense looked pretty good against the Raiders. They really stopped their run game. And we also seen their defense stuffed up Ashton Jeanty. So yeah. And all of a sudden, their offense looked pretty good. Like they were running the ball, they were throwing the ball. Like Dak looked pretty good in that game. Well, we'll probably see what he do against the Eagles. Now, we already know that the Eagles, so far, their passing offense is completely incompetent. And we know they can barely run the ball. They don't got Lane Johnson playing, but all of a sudden their defense is good. But at the same time, the Cowboys' front seven, is totally improved, especially with Logan Wilson and Quentin Williams. I thought their front seven can totally dominate against his Eagles offensive line. And I think they can get pressure and get after Jalen Hurts. Because they're playing against a team that has a lack of a passing game, and I don't think their defense will look that bad. Now, DaRon Bland, he can make some plays. I mean, sometimes he gets cooked. But at the same time, Dallas does have the pass rush, have the defensive line to at least get pressure and stop the Eagles' running game. Because we saw them stuff Ashton Jeanty last week. I think they can do that against Saquon. And, I think Dak Prescott is going to outduel Jalen Hurts in this game. So yeah. So I think this game will be closer. I feel like it could be a lower scoring game. But I'm going to go with the Cowboys here. I'm taking the Cowboys. And the reason for it is that, the Cowboys do have the pass rush. I think their defensive line will dominate in this game. And I think their offense could totally get it going. I mean, they have one of the best passing offenses in football. And defensively, they can just play some man coverage and just stop the run. So, yeah. And they can just force, Hurts off his first read. Because all he does is hold on to the ball for so long to find some guys open. So, yeah, I think Dallas defense could totally have an answer for it, though. So, yeah. But can the Eagles win this game if their defense dominates and their offense can dominate? Sure, but at the same time, Dallas is at home, and they pretty much play the Eagles tough almost every year. And even last year, they couldn't. They got swept by the Eagles without Dak. But this time it's with Dak Prescott. But this time the Eagles are playing. It's a different Cowboys team with Dak Prescott and that improved defense. So, yeah. So I'm gonna take the Cowboys to win because they need this game win more than the Eagles. Because if CeeDee Lamb, if he would have had hands, they could have won that game against the Eagles last time. But I think this time, Dallas will do it. So, yeah, so I got the Cowboys winning straight up so they can keep their playoff hopes alive. So, yeah, I got Dallas. All right, next game. We have the Atlanta Falcons against the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are 2.5-point favorites against the Falcons. I don't know why, but this is my trap game because this game right here can totally go either way because most people, could be taking Atlanta to win because they're a better team. Most people could be on the Saints because, the Saints typically play the Falcons tough. And, they play them tough every year. They normally split. Now, it's going to be Kirk Cousins playing in this game. No Michael Penix. He's out for the year. Drake London. All you got is Kyle Pitts, Darnell Mooney, and Bijan. So, yeah. And their defense is pretty good. I mean, a good defense and a really good offense. I mean, their offense is just mid. Like, Kirk Cousins, he hasn't been the same player as he used to be. And I think the Saints defense, it's top 10 right now. I mean, they're good against the run, but they're not good against the pass. Can the Saints win this game if their defense dominates? But sure, but they literally have no offense. And the Falcons' offense has been playing better, but at the same time, we've seen their defense give up 400-plus yards to the Panthers and Bryce Young, which that's crazy. Which Atlanta could have won that game, though. And Bijan Robinson had a good game and rushed for over 100 yards. I don't know if he can do it in this game. So basically, I think Atlanta, has a chance to at least dominate in this game because they have a really good defense. They're good against the pass, but they have not been good against the run lately. So I think Atlanta's defense, especially they're playing against a rookie quarterback and Tyler Shuck, who is very inaccurate. So I think Atlanta's offense can at least start humming in this game. But I feel like it's going to be a little bit of a defensive game because both of their offenses have not been looking great. And Atlanta's offense looked better though. It's been playing better, but their defense is totally not playing good. I feel like Atlanta's defense should play a lot better here. So, you know what? I can see the Saints win this game, but I'm going to take Atlanta because I think Atlanta's the more complete team, and they pretty much have the better defense. And they probably need to get this win more, or else our coach is going to be on the hot seat because right now, their coaches could be on the hot seat right now. Like, Raheem Morris could be losing his job by now if they lose this game. So I feel like I'm going to take Atlanta to win because I feel like Atlanta needs this win more. I think they're going to win by one score, maybe 16-9, 9-6, maybe 12-9, some type of garbage score. I feel like it will be a defensive game. So I'm going to take Atlanta to win straight up. All right, next game, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are 7.5-point favorites against the Bucs. Um, this game right here is gonna be fun to watch. It can totally go either way. The Rams are coming off a dominant win against the Seahawks, while the Buccaneers have totally been on a 2-game losing streak so far. So yeah, I mean they're looking like frauds right now. Um, so basically, I'm gonna look at the injury report. Um, the Bucks, they're missing like a few stars on offense. But the good news is that they are getting Chris Godwin back. They did rule out Irvin again. The Bucks got a lot of injuries on defense. Um, Jamel Dean is out. Hanson Reddick is out. So they're missing a few stars on defense. The Rams so far are a bit healthier, except for Quentin Lake, who's going to be out for this game. Tyler Higbee, he's out for this game as well. So basically, the Bucks got so many injuries, though. But I think this game right here can be a high-scoring game. I mean, both quarterbacks are playing MVP level. Stafford so far is playing MVP right now. I feel like the Rams, I feel like with an injured real secondary, the Bucks with no corners can totally be a problem. I feel like Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams can totally be a problem for an injured Bucks secondary. And, they pretty much, have, the defense to at least like limit, and get after Baker Mayfield and all that, because they got a really good pass rush. They're good against the run, but they're not good against the pass. Same thing with the Bucks. They're good against the run, but they're not good against the pass as well. And I think Sean McVay can scheme up some things open. I mean, I feel like he does a really good job, preparing for Todd Bowles' defense. And especially last time when these two teams played, it was with Tom Brady, and the Bucks didn't win this game by 3 points. Like, it was a defensive game. But I think the Rams so far are gonna like score in the 30s, because we seen the Bucks defense gave up 44 points to the Bills. Like, we seen that though, with Josh Allen scoring 6 touchdowns in total. I think the Rams are gonna get multiple touchdowns in this game. So I think it will be high scoring, but I don't really think the Bucks are going to do enough to win, especially with all the injuries they have. So I'm going to take the Rams to win, because the Rams are the more complete team, and they're at home and have the better coaching staff as well. So yeah, so I'm going to take the Rams to win, and I will take the Rams to cover as well. I think it's going to be a one-score game. I'm going to say like 38-31, something like that, or maybe like a 38-35, 35-31, somewhere in that range, or maybe like a 31-24, something like that. So yeah. So I'm going to take the Rams both ways. I'm going to take the Rams to win and cover. All right, then last game, Monday Night Football, we have the Carolina Panthers against the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers are 7.5-point favorites against the Panthers. Obviously, this game right here is going to be fun to watch. This is also the Christian McCaffrey revenge game. Yeah, so that's something you got to see. Obviously, the Carolina Panthers are 6-5, and they got their playoff hopes alive, and they could look to clinch a playoff spot. While the Niners so far are looking to clinch a playoff spot as well too, because they have a lot to play for. But here's the thing. Now the question is, can the Panthers pull off the upset? I don't really know if they can, because their defense is playing really well right now. Their offense so far looked pretty good, especially in the passing game as well, where Bryce Young, he had a breakout. He had one of the best games out of his career. T-Mac literally had a really good breakout game. Like, the Panthers offense looked pretty good against Atlanta, but the Niners are playing against a team that has a below average passing game, which is the Carolina Panthers. And, Bryce Young is really not good, and we know that he can't hit water if he fell out of a boat. But I just really think that the Niners so far have, the defense I I really think that the Niners offense is probably gonna overpower them because they're probably gonna score in the 30s. And I think, Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle, Jawan James could be a problem. And I really think that they can run the ball as well. Now they don't have a run game. They can't run the football, but they can throw it though. But their defense so far, they've been really good against the run, but not good against the pass. But I think the Niners, their back half of their defense will play better in this game. I think their defense will play, I feel like they'll look good. Even though they don't have a good pass rush, I feel like they can stop the run. I think Robert Solomon is going to get his guys going as well. So yeah, so basically, they can just force Bryce Young off his first read, play some man coverage, and they can just stop the run. That's all they do. But sure, can the Panthers win? They can run the ball and then their defense dominates. Sure, but I just don't see it. And I don't think Carolina's going to keep up. So I'm going to take the 49ers to win because they're the more complete team and have the better coaching staff, better quarterback. They're at home and have the better offense and defense. So, yeah, so basically, I'm going to take the Niners to win and the Niners to cover. I'm say they're going to at least win by like 31-24, 24-20, maybe like a 27-24. More like maybe like I think the Niners are probably going to win by double digits. So, yeah, so I'm going to take the Niners both ways. I'm going to take the Niners to win and cover. Well, those are all my Week 12 picks for this week. Thank you guys for watching. And don't forget to, if you disagree with me, just let me know in the comments section below who you guys got winning this week. So, again, this is Emmanuel Jones from Big Fan. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Peace.